Cheer up, Hichan. She slaps me hard across the back with enough strength to knock the air out of my lungs. I gasp for breath. Besides, aren't you happy you get to spend the day with two cute girls? Ha 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 ha! I guess they are right. I did blurt those words out. Accepting my fate, I followed them to the student council room. And hammer the final nail into the stall. It took all of the afternoon, and dinner time is nearly over. But it is done now. Shizune pulls out a roll of measuring tape and a small level and inspects it thoroughly. She smiles, looking pleased, then motions for Misha to come over. She begins signing. She says you did a very good job. In fact, you might actually have a gift for this. Wow, I'm impressed too. And that was fast. Have you done this before? No, never, I say. Never before. And I never will again. Shizune signs. Well, our quota for the day is 6 stalls. In a few minutes, me and Shichan should finish this one. That means 4 more to go. We're making good time, she says. Isn't this great fun? What? I could think of a million things I'd rather do, but I suppose everyone has to do their share for the festival, even me. You're both lucky that I'm helping you two out, I say. If I really didn't want to, I could have gotten out of it easily. Shizune signs. Really, Hichan? Wah! Shichan thinks you're just running your mouth. Japanese people have no flight or fight reflex, Hichan. Shizune tints her fingers deviously. She begins to sign again. Definitely, definitely, definitely. If you really wanted to escape, you would have taken immediate action. That's how you know someone is serious, when they have no doubts, no regrets. She continues. Maybe it was a bad idea to tell you that, since now Hichan knows what to do next time. But just the fact that she is all right with telling me this shows me that she doubts I'll be able to act on it. That only makes me want to do it more, and I almost want the opportunity to do so to arise again. But if that happens, she might get me again somehow. She begins signing. Shichan says she is happy now. Much, much later in the evening, we are looking at 6 completed stalls. With the pride of a job well done, we sit back and admire the fruits of our labor, not sharing a word between us, just admiring. I realize I'm feeling quite thirsty. Hey, isn't there a vending machine out in the hall? They're on all day, right? Yeah, the drinks are very cheap, too. We usually get something from there on days like this. I dig around in my pocket and find a single 100-yen coin. Is this enough, I ask? I'm feeling kind of thirsty. 100 yen? You can get any drink in the machine with that. That's good. That's very good, then. Shizune signs. Wait a second. What is it, Shichan? Do you want him to get you a drink, too? Ha ha ha! She continues signing. Hichan, you've really helped us out, so today Shichan, will treat you. Hey, what about me? Shizune continues. What would you like? I'm feeling thirsty myself. So am I. I say, I don't know. Anything's fine. I guess the melon soda. Shizune signs. Hey, wait, Shichan. I also want a drink. Aww. You know, it's times like this that I think she is just teasing me. That's probably it, I say. I'm sure she'll get you something, right? Yeah, she usually does, but you never know. Heh. Shizune comes back with 2 melon sodas and a can of fruit juice. She hands me one of the sodas and the other to Misha. Thanks, Shi-chan. I had total faith that you'd get me one. I knew I could count on you. But how did you know this is what I wanted? I usually get something else. Shizune signs back to her. What? You knew I'd want to try it, and that I like these kind of childish things? I gesture my thanks to Shizune, who smiles and nods. She then starts signing. Hey, Hichan. Yes. She continues. We've been spending a lot of time together. Already in such short time, we've done so much. We should both stop beating around the bush. What I'm trying to say is... It sounds a lot like she's going to ask me out, but that can't be it. Nevertheless, my heart is beating like a jackhammer. Damn, this reminds me of another similar scene earlier this year. I try to say something, but my brain can't decide whether to stop her or to tell her to continue. I feel myself blushing all the way to my ears. Shizune continues. What I'm trying to say is... Would you like to join the student council? Ah, what a disappointment, I say. Did you think she wanted to ask you out, Hichan? I feel very embarrassed right now. I can feel myself getting even redder in the face. Shizune also tries to hide a blush after Misha translates and then puts a few sheets of paper in front of me. She continues signing. So, how about it? All the paperwork is right here. And you are sitting down anyway. You look very at home here. Drinks and everything. She continues. What do you say? She quiets down a little and asks again a little more solemnly. Hichan, what do you say? You don't exactly hate this, right? I'm more than a little surprised by this sudden change of tone. I don't really know how to react to it. For one thing, she isn't shouting uproariously for no regard for tact. Before, I'm sure she knew already that I was going to say no. This time, she seems actually serious. I think maybe you should join. Not just because we could use your help, but, well, you're hanging out with us anyway. I think Shi-chan would like it if you would join as well. It's not like you hate us or anything, right? It wouldn't hurt if you joined, and I'd appreciate it if you would. She seems to be having a hard time getting her words out, which is strange for someone talkative like Misha. For some reason, I'm almost troubled by it. My eyes drift over to Shizune, who stares back at me tentatively, absent-mindedly cleaning her fingernails. If you don't want to join, I promise we won't ask again. But if you did, we would be really happy. Both Shizune and Misha seem to be unable to look me in the eye. I can't lie, the thought of being around two such cute girls is something that I couldn't possibly pass up. I'm not looking forward to this kind of work every day, but there should be less after the festival. At least I hope so. All right, I say, I guess it can't hurt, so why not? Shizune signs. Wonderful, wonderful! Shizune tints her fingers in satisfaction. She continues. She'll fill out everything, Hichan. Congratulations! You are officially a member of the student council now. Great. I'm not looking forward to a lot of work, I tell them. To be honest, I've never done any student council activities before. But maybe it'll be a positive experience? Misha starts to clap, laughing exuberantly as she does. Congratulations, Hichan! Shizune signs. Congratulations! She continues. Congratulations! Congratulations! I get the message, I tell them. I can't help but smile, finding such a display childishly cute. The student council is always busy, you know, But for today, we're done. See you tomorrow, Hichan. We still have work left, so we'll be counting on you. I leave the room feeling totally wiped out. The grounds are totally deserted, and the school looks pretty ominous this late. The council office is the only window with lights on anymore. Is this what the student council will be like? My body might not be able to take it. Adhering to the nurse's nagging voice in the back of my head, I set my alarm clock to wake me up early enough to go jogging again. I made a promise, and I'm going to keep it. Besides, Emmy is bound to rat on me if I don't show up. But it's not all that bad. My morning alarm goes off, and I flail about uselessly for a while until I remember that I decided to give morning runs another shot. I don't know if this was my greatest idea, but I'm determined to keep going. This is about my health, after all. Sure, things haven't been great lately for me, but that hasn't made existence so intolerable that I'm not going to try everything I can to stay healthy. Besides, it's all about asserting some kind of control over this thing, right? If I can manage that, well, I can manage anything. At least, that's what I keep telling myself. Once again, it would appear that I'm not alone in my run. Amy has apparently been here for some time. It looks like she's already worked up a good sweat. Just when the hell does she come down here anyway? Oh, it's you! I'm surprised to see you again. Why's that, I ask. Well, not many people actually manage to come back for a second try. She frowns, seemingly annoyed by a passing thought. Like the rest of the track team, for instance, she says. Still, it was only supposed to be on a volunteer basis, so it's not that big of a shock. And I guess it's pretty early in the morning. A shrug, and suddenly it appears that she's forgotten what she was talking about. The frown disappears entirely, and she seems to snap back to her previous train of thought. So, come on then. What, I say? You're here to run again, right? Well, yes. So come on. I find myself suddenly grabbed and yanked onto the track. Things seem to be said on mirroring yesterday's run. That is, I seem to be struggling while Emmy moves with an effortlessness that I find enviable. It's incredibly bothersome to be so easily worn out. I know I should be patient, work toward things gradually, but it's difficult to stay positive about this. We round the track and start on our second lap. Amy seems to have grown impatient, keeping pace with me, and begins to pull away. This is where I gave out yesterday. Will I be able to do more? What am I doing here? Am I really just going to fold and let Amy pull ahead? I speed up. The second lap's done quickly, and without even considering it, I keep going. Amy looks back over her shoulder at me and grins. Still going? She asks. Wouldn't want you to think I'm out of shape. Amy laughs, without breaking her stride no less, and speeds up even more. Well, if this is the way we're going to play things. I increase my own pace as well. I can feel my lungs burning, and my legs are starting to question just what the hell I think I'm doing. Lactic acid screams in my muscles, but I close my ears. I can't let myself fall behind because that would be a loss. The rational voice in my head inquires mildly just when we started playing a game. I'd answer it, but I'm having a lot of trouble thinking at present. She's so fast. How the hell does she keep it? It's like a string pulling at my chest. A choking feeling of narrowness and pain. Before I can think of anything else other than, oh shit, the track disappears from under my feet. I stumble, one hand shooting down to clutch at my chest, the other hitting the track to keep me from falling on my face. Amy whirls around and her eyes widen. Hisao! She yells at me, sprinting from the other side of the track. What's wrong? She asks. Nothing. Just keep your breathing steady. Calm down. Don't panic. Don't panic. Do you need me to get the nurse? She asks. I close my eyes, shutting out the outside world. My heart struggles to regain its rhythm. Slowly, the pain in my chest begins to subside. Soon, it's gone like nothing happened. It was nothing? No, something happened there. I open my eyes again and glance at a very worried Amy. I think I'm fine, I say. My voice sounds weird even to myself, oddly even and matter of fact. It makes Amy frown. I don't think you are, she says. She seems to come to a decision and nods to herself. Right, you're coming with me, she says. You've got to see the nurse. Amy grabs my arm and drags me up. I feel a bit wobbly, but I refuse the shoulder Amy offers for support. Honestly, I'm a little shamed by my own weakness. I'd really rather not have Amy concerned about me, but it seems to be too late. Heck, I'd really rather not have anyone concerned about my condition, though at this point it seems to be too late for that as well. I'd like to be able to deal with the whole thing on my own, without being a bother to anyone else. While I'm wishing for things, I'd rather not have this condition in the first place. Nurse! Amy shouts. Amy crashes into the office without knocking, but it doesn't alarm the nurse in the least. Good morning, sunshine, he says. What's up? Sunshine? Anyway, he calmly sips from his coffee mug, but lays it down after following Amy's gaze to me, looming in the doorway. Hisao, what brings you here? He asks. We were running, Amy says, and he stumbled over and started grabbing at his chest, and I thought I'd come and get you and make him wait there, but he said he was okay, and then I thought you should see him anyway, and... Easy there, Amy. Calm down, the nurse says. Hisao, what happened? I don't know. We were running, and then my chest started hurting like that time before, but it went away after a few seconds. It was just a flutter or something. The nurse frowns as if to say that just a flutter is some kind of oxymoron. I didn't mean quite this when I suggested to get some exercise, he said. You've got to be more careful, Hisao. I was being careful. Come to think of it, I've just got into a race with a member of the track team. Doesn't seem as well reasoned as I thought it would. You just what? Nurse says. That is... I was racing Amy. Amy, is this true? He asks. Amy fidgets, looking adorably contrite. Well... Finally, she can't seem to bring herself to say it aloud and merely nods. The nurse sighs and rubs at his forehead with one hand tiredly. Amy, he says, you've got to be more sensitive to the limits of others. I don't know if he told you, but Hisao has a bad heart, and getting him to race you was incredibly irresponsible. Actually, I tell him, I started it. The nurse is stunned by my statement. You what? We were just running, I say, and Amy started to pull away, and so I sped up to catch her. The nurse stares at the ceiling, mutters a prayer for patience to some god or another, and looks back down at the both of us. So you're both stupid, he says. That's a comfort, I guess. Now come on, Hisao. I've got to make sure your heart's not going to explode or something. I dutifully obey and follow him to the adjacent room, where we ascertain that I am, in fact, not going to keel over and die. So how does it feel, he says. I don't know, nothing much. Tired, but it might be just from the exercise, I say. You should stay here for a few hours and rest, he says, and we'll see how you feel after that. I'm not going to object, so I lie down on the infirmary bed. A thoroughly miserable Emmy comes in after getting an earful from the nurse in the other room. I couldn't hear what he said through the closed door, but I'm sure it wasn't pleasantries. She starts, Look, I'm really, really sorry. I should have been more careful. Hey, you didn't know, I say. It's not your fault. She looks awfully down and sorry, and my reassurances don't do anything much to cheer her up. I want to make it up to you, she says, again with that decisive nod. So you have to come to lunch with me. I'll bring it for you, okay? Something really, really good. I start with a you don't have to, but then shut up and just nod at her when I see her face. Good, she says. We meet on the roof. We, I say? Yep, the weather's nice now, so the roof's a great spot for lunch, you know. I see. You'll come, right? She asks. You wouldn't deny me the chance to make it up to you. Of course not, I say. Great, see you there. All right, so I have to apologize. I know at least one person out there has had their fill with Shizune and Misha already, but I do have to say I've got the next episode or so has got a couple of scenes, rare scenes that most people don't get because most people don't concentrate this much on Shizune and Misha, and I wanted to make sure we hit those two scenes. So, yeah, basically I have been concentrating, almost every decision I have made, y'all have seen, has been on the Shizune and Misha side. So that has been putting them on the screen for a good deal more than normally you would get unless you were actually running down their path. Like I chose their side in the argument with Lily. I chose their side, even though normally I would have chosen Lily's side because Shizune was being a bit of a bitch. But I chose their side, and that sent me to lunch with them. So that was like a 20-minute spell that you normally wouldn't have with them. Earlier in the day, I had chose to do something. A couple of other times, I'd chosen to go to lunch with them, and that was why I was with them when we ran into Amy in the hallway when she ran into me and knocked me down. And I had a couple of other times when I hung out with them when I could have gone to the library or read a book or something like that. So all in all, they've probably been on the screen about an hour, maybe a little bit more than an hour than what you would normally see them in a normal playthrough, just randomly picking things or trying different paths to go down. So, yeah, we've seen a good deal more of them, and yeah, they are starting to get a bit irritating, I will say. So, as I said, my apologies for the fact that you've seen a good deal more of them. Don't hold it against the game. You've seen a good deal more of them than you normally would. That being said, we are coming to the end of the common track and about to go down a pathway here. The scenes that I was speaking of depend on you essentially choosing to follow the Shizune path and go almost 100% Shizune right up to the very, very last second and then swapping to Emmy at the last second. And that gets you a couple scenes that they say are rarely seen because of that. So I wanted to get those scenes, and that's one of the reasons. But like as I said, having said that, we are moving into the Amy path here. As you've seen, half this episode's been devoted to her. We're not actually in the path yet, but we are pretty much there, and you're not going to be seeing too much of the student council duo from here on out. So we come up to a very fateful decision. We are out running with Amy. we start getting really tired, our heart's pounding, and do we take it easy and back off, or do we go for it? And this is kind of the fateful decision here that's going to decide whether we go with Amy or not. If we take it easy and back off, essentially she just decides that we're not serious about it and that we're just another slacker, not interested in our health. And she pretty much gives up on us. And at this point, we go down the Shizune route. If we go for it, though, and we push ourselves, well, that puts us over there toward her even stronger. She starts feeling a responsibility for us. She feels sorry for us and asks us to lunch on the roof the next day, or at lunch rather, and we head on down her path. So that was our deciding question here. And in the next episode, we will see where it's going to lead us.